of course. It's in the. It's on the.
7:27. We have plenty of time. We're not.
It's in the.
What do you need?
Nothing. He's trying to make me. Steve is saying, do that. It should be right here. Yeah, it's right here. How wonderful, everybody coming in. Please join us, as close in the front that you feel comfortable. Shabbat Shalom, Miranda. Welcome, everyone. It's our first Shabbat of summer, and that means no bar mitzvah tomorrow, and so we're, a little thinner, and don't hang back because we want you to sing loudly and participate. What's his name? Oh, Casey, you'll tell me when we're going live. We are. We are live. That's wonderful. So, welcome everyone. Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Danny Marshall. This is 4 of the 5 of our Kavanah Shabbat morning service team. And it's Steve Marshall, Elizabeth Landsberg, and Sandy Lee, and Miriam isn't here today. But we hope you will join us as well for some of our Shabbat morning services that are no longer going to be online. They are going to be only in person. So as you all come in, Shabbat Shalom, and let's take a moment and bring ourselves present. Deep breath. That's beautiful. And to all the people online as well, welcome. So we come from a busy week as usual, and breathe it out and bring yourself here into Shabbat with joy and shalom, peace. And we begin our service with a nigun. A nigun is a wordless melody. I invite you to just close your eyes if you want, or kind of hum along and feel the joy of Shabbat. So the Hasidic masters considered niguns to be the most spiritual of all prayers, even without the words, going straight to the heart. Well, how good and sweet it is to be together in community. It's hard to really be in community, though, without greeting each other. So we're going to take a few moments now, and I invite you to introduce yourself to those around you and to at least two people that you don't know. So just take a moment to do that. It's, he's going to, okay, he's here. So we are so thrilled to have this community. And like Jews, we could talk all night, right? And I hope afterwards you will come to the Oneg afterwards and talk all night. We acknowledge this blessing of community with Ma Tovu that can be found on your song sheets. So the first part of the Shabbat evening service is known as Kabbalat Shabbat. And Kabbalah, some of you may know that term as the mystical part of Judaism, literally means to receive or to welcome. And we welcome Shabbat in with song during the Kabbalat part of the service. So right now, we'll turn to Lecha Dodi, which can be found on page 138. And as we sing this, we envision ourselves as our Hasidic ancestors, dressed all in white and dancing out into the fields to welcome the Shabbat bride. And we'll
we will
sing
be doing verses 1,
2, 5, and 9. That's okay, no. It's my song leader, she's got me there. So everybody got page 138? Let's go.
Likrat kala, v'nei Shabbat, nekabla, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shamor v'zachor, Shalom u'mevorach. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha ki mekor haracha merosh mekever mesucha sof ma'aseh shatila. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. Hitoreri, 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 ki ha'oreh, kumi ori, uri, uri, shir taperi, kevod Adonai alach nikla. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom u'mevorach. Vo'i v'shalom, ateret et ba'ala, gam b'simcha u'sola. Tov emunei am segula, segula, vo'i hala, vo'i hala. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom u'mevorach.
So we now turn to the lighting of the Shabbat candles, which can be found on page 120, but we begin with Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
Lechem malachei hasharet, malachei elyon. Yehi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'eivtem l'shalom malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mihi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
As these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own day, be among those who kindle light.
Amen.
Baruchuni l'shalom,
Shalom malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mihi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu. Lechem l'shalom malachei hashalom, malachei elyon. Mihi melech malachei hamalachim hakadosh baruch hu.
We rise together for the Baruch Hu on page 146.
Baruch hu et Adonai, ha'mevorach,
may be seated. Daytime has its blessings, and so too does the night. So we take a moment to praise God for creating the day and the night, for rolling light away from darkness and darkness away from light. Please join us on page 148 for Ma'ariv Aravim.
ומסדר את הכוכבים במשמרותיהם בקיר סונו יררי היי היי יררי יררי היי היי וחושך מפני אור מעביר יום ומביא לילה מבדיל בין יום ובין לילה אדוני צבאות שמו יררי יררי יררי
The Shema is surrounded by love, God's everlasting love for us before the Shema, and after the Shema, our love for God. So we turn to the bottom of page 150 and we read together Ahavat Olam in English. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Psalm 16 says, Shaviti Adonai lenegdi tamid. I place God before me always. So before we enter into the Shema on page 152, we take a moment to imagine the divine in front of us, leading us, guiding us, and accompanying us through our journeys in life, those of joy and those of sorrow. And as we chant the Shaviti, I invite you, if you're comfortable, to close your eyes, and we'll go straight from the Shaviti into the Shema.
Shaviti,
We turn to page 154 for the Ve'ahavta, and this is our returning of love to the divine. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levacha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shitecha v'ritzecha uvlektecha b'derech ושופטך ובקומך ושרתם לאות על ידך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות להם אלוהים. אני Adonai Elohim. Amen. One of the main reasons that we as Jews are passionate about helping others to freedom and justice is that we never forget how God liberated us from bondage in Egypt. Every week, in every service, we celebrate this moment as we declare, Mi chamocha, who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha can be found on page 158. Please join us. Shabbat Shalom to everyone who's come in since we began service, and we welcome you all to come as close as you feel comfortable to each other. Nighttime can be a scary time, whether due to the darkness or our fears that arise in that time. It's quiet, your mind just keeps going around and around. Every night we pray to be sheltered beneath God's wings, to be protected from all evil, and to be brought through the night with peace. Shalom. We join together right now on your song sheets with this beautiful interpretation by Noah Aronson of the Hashkivenu, Let There Be Love. Please join us.
And
deep breath. Weekly, we joyfully recommit to the mitzvah, the command to keep the Shabbat. And so we turn to Vishamru on page 162. And please join us in this tune by Dan Nichols.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. לדורותם ברית עולם. לדורותם ברית עולם.
So we rise together and turn to page 164 for the tefillah. You may be seated or remain standing, as is your custom, for the silent prayers of your hearts or the readings from page 172 to 180. I do invite you, though, at some point to just go inside and send your silent prayers to God. Now we turn our hearts to those who are suffering, those who are ill, those we love, those we know, those we don't know. If you are praying for healing for someone tonight, please say their name out loud as my gaze meets yours. Thank you. and Rabbi Dorothy Richard, Will Deutsch, Mary Goodman, and Marcia Bufford. And we don't read the whole healing list anymore, but you have it in front of you, and I encourage you, if you see someone on there whose name you know, to keep them in your hearts, and maybe even pick up the phone and reach out. So together we will sing Amisha Berach by Lisa Levine, and it's right there on in these folded papers program. Thank you.
Yishaberach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzhak, v'Yaakov. Yishaberach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, v'Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Bless us with a vision for tomorrow. Help us to reach out to those in pain. May the warmth of friendship ease our sorrow. Give us courage, give us faith, show us the way. Misha Berach Avotenu, Misha Berach Imotenu. Hear our prayer, 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 and bless us as well. And bless us as well.
Good evening. Can you hear me? Good. As I was reading this week's Torah portion, Korach, I was struck by what a clear example this story is of some of the core Musar Midot, and I decided I just needed to share this with you. Now, I'm sure many of you are perplexed and are asking, what is Musar or Musar, and what are Midot? Musar is an ancient Jewish ethical practice of working to improve one's character through the study of what we call Midot, or personal characteristics such as patience, compassion, humility, and truth, and many more. In Musar, we work with all the Midot with the goal to improve ourselves and how we interact with others so that we can make a difference in the world. After years of Musar study, I turn to Midot in just about any situation I encounter. I'm constantly asking myself, what midah do I need to focus on here and now? The practice of Musar is a powerful tool, and it is based in Torah. In this week's Torah portion, Korach, certain midot stand out, bringing us lessons for our own lives. To quickly bring you up to date on where we are in the Torah, last week's parasha, Shalach, is the story of the spies who went to scout out the promised land. And because of their report, the Israelites succumbed to fear and refused to go forward. God was incensed and wanted to wipe out the whole community, but Moses once again spoke up to God and intervened for them and prevailed. As a result, the community of Israelites were saved, but they were told they would not enter the promised land. They would die wandering in the desert. The people sunk into despair and railed against Moses, even though, once again, he had intervened with God and saved them from destruction. This week's Torah portion introduces Korach, a wealthy Levite chieftain who is kin to Moses and an influential member of the community. Korah gathers two other heads of households to support him, and with their aid stirs up 250 chieftains to rebel against Moses. Without any warning, they confront Moses and Aaron and challenge their authority. Now, maybe Korach's followers were acting out of fear of dying in the desert, but Korach himself is seen as acting out of arrogance and self-interest. But even if Korach was acting from a real concern for the entire community, the way he chose to rile up the people and zealously confront Moses was not designed for collaboration and positive change, but for a rebellion and replacement of leadership out of self-interest. Korach becomes a symbol in the Torah of arrogance, ego, and self-interest, in opposition to Moses, who represents the interests of the entire community with the midot of anavah, humility, and achrayut, responsibility. When confronted by this rebellion, before responding to them, Moses throws himself down on the ground. Why does he do this? According to the famous Hasidic rabbi, Moses falls on his face in order to assess the situation and take a little time out and ask himself if Korach might really be a messenger from God. With anavah, with humility, Moses spends some time in self-reflection to see if he himself is acting out of arrogance. After taking this time to reflect and get clarity, Moses offers Korach time to rethink his position. He offers him a way to step back from his demands and to find a way to peacefully engage in dialogue. Basically, he gives him the whole night to think about it. He also reminds Korach of Korach's importance and influence in the community. In other words, you already are so important here. Do you really need more? But unfortunately, Korach is not able to see any other way of engaging, and so he and his followers are destroyed by God. If Korach had acted with anavah, humility, as Moses did, he might have been able to engage in dialogue in a way to present the community's concerns and effect change, and of course, save his own life and the lives of his followers. We can internalize this lesson of the midah of anavah, humility, in our lives today in so many ways. Alan Marinas, founder of the Musar Institute, loves to say regarding this midah of anavah, no more than my place, no less than my space. We all take up space and have a place in our families, our communities, and the world at large. The key is to know and be comfortable with our place and amount of space, and realize that others have different roles and different amounts of space that they take up. This calls for balancing ego with humility, which can be a challenge for most humans. I know it has been for me at many different times in my life. But when we engage with others to make the world better, we can use this balance to help find a way to assist, to protest, to dialogue, to educate, and ultimately to help create change. There's another midah in this parasha that affects the leaders who are following Korach. This midah, zerazut, translates in English as enthusiasm or zeal, and can have both a positive and a negative aspect. On one hand, without enthusiasm, it would be very difficult to accomplish change. Think about a time you wanted to change a behavior of yours. You probably needed to get excited and enthusiastic about the change in order to really make it happen and stick. And when we work to change things for better in our society, we often need to engage people to become very enthusiastic about the process in order to move things forward. So this Midah Zerazut can be very positive. But if Zerazut is out of balance and not balanced with Midot such as Emet, truth, Achrayut, responsibility, and Bitahon, trust, it can be very harmful. In our Torah portion, the followers of Korach did not explore or seek the truth, either Korach's truth nor their own truth. They did not ask themselves what Korach's intentions really were, nor did they take responsibility for their own role as the chieftains when the community had succumbed to fear and refused to follow God into the promised land. Nor did they have the insight to realize that their confrontation of Moses was really due to a lack of bitahon, trust. Not just trust in Moses, but trust in God. Caught up in the zeal sparked by Korach and lack of true self-knowledge, they brought destruction on themselves. This story of Korach speaks to us all today. It is not hard to see Korach in a number of political leaders, both in our country and abroad in recent years, who zealously aroused their followers to harmful action. Yet this story of ego versus humility is also a personal one. As Rabbi Rachel Cowan of blessed memory wrote in the Women's Torah Commentary, we all live with an ongoing conflict between our inner Moses and our inner Korach, between humility and arrogance, between selflessness and selfishness. She says that until we can discern between which of these voices are guiding us, we will not be effective in countering the Korachs at large in the world. This is the gift of Musar. It helps us really to listen to ourselves, discern what changes we need to make, and guides us in making these changes. My blessing for all of us tonight is that our zerazut, our zeal, is to strengthen and balance within us truth, humility, responsibility, and trust as we strive to make our world a better place. Shabbat Shalom. And now I'm so thrilled and pleased to welcome up the president of our board, Josh Mostrardi, to do the announcements and introduce anyone. And I think this can go on if you're going to go down to introduce anyone. This can go on too.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi Denny, along with Elizabeth, Steve, and Sandy for leading us in prayer tonight. And I'm going to improve myself by reading the announcements I'm given instead of actually making things up tonight. Which now you're wondering, and on any given day, you can fact check what I say by going to the Hadashot, because that's the definitive list of everything going on and all the details. Tonight after services, we have an oneg out in the courtyard. Join us for that. Tomorrow morning, Torah study is now hybrid, both in the library and on Zoom at 9:30, and at 10:30 we have the start of our return to Shabbat morning services. These are going to be lay-led services led by Judy Emick Leatherwood and Blair Leatherwood. Traditional service with prayer, chanting, song, Torah reading when there's a minyan. It's definitely worth checking out. I used to go regularly years ago when we had that all the time. Next Friday, we have Shabbat evening services with a special drash by one of the Shlicha for Camp Shalanu. And then again, next Saturday morning, lay-led Shabbat morning services. The Jewish Federation in the region is doing a community study survey. It's the first one they've done in 30 years. This is a community-wide survey everywhere from Chico and north down to the whole Sacramento region. And it's kind of looking for all the demographics and what people are interested in, what they need, who people who are affiliated, people who are not affiliated. We sent a link out on behalf of the Federation. I encourage you to go do that. I did it myself a few days ago. It took about 15 minutes and has lots of good questions that can really help the community target the things that we need to. Camp Shalanu starts on July 5th, and the registration is open. They're also looking for additional volunteers. Contact Rabbi Stacy. And Havdalah in the Hood returns this summer. Registration's open. There are a whole bunch of gatherings in all the different parts of the city. It's a great program. It's a great chance to meet people and have a casual Havdalah and enjoy the Sacramento summer. And like I said, check out the Hadashot with everything going on. And now I'd like to ask any members of the Board of Trustees and committee chairs and past presidents to stand up and introduce yourselves.
Dan Rabowski, co-chair of the Israel Committee.
I'm Brian Landsberg. I'm a co-chair of the Religious Practices Committee.
I'm Helen Roth-Dowden, board member.
I'm Judy Emick Leatherwood. I'm chair of the music committee, choir wrangler, and a schedule people to chant Torah on Saturday mornings like tomorrow, where Blair and I will lead it for the first time since COVID. So please come. If we don't have a minyan, we can't read the Torah. And Kathy Glatter has worked so hard on this, and she's such a good Torah reader. So please come.
All right, thank you. And back to you, Rabbi Denny. Shabbat Shalom. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Sandy Lee, and I represent the women of B'nai Israel on the board.
To be fair, I always miss Michael when he's up here too. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Josh. So wonderful. So please turn to page 596 for the Aleinu, and please stand. Everybody up? Okay. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'teit gidolah le'oser b'shit shelo asanu kigoyei haratzot ve'lo samanu k'mimitzvot ha'adama shelo samhem keinu kahem ve'kor aleinu b'chol hamonam v'anachnu korim u'mishacharim u'modim lifnei melech malkei hamalkim hakadosh baruch hu shehu notei shamayim ve'yosed haaretz Moshav Yakarov Bashamayim Mimao Shinatuzo Hishinatuzo Mekov He Meromim Hu Eloheinu Einod Emet Malkeinu Efezulato Kakatu Betorato Yahadatayom Behashemota Ki Adonai Hu Elohim Hashamayim Mima'al Haaretz Ve'al haaretz Mitahad Einod V'ne'emar V'nei Adonai L'melech al kol haaretz Vayom hahu, vayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo, u'shemo, u'shemo echad. You may be seated. Now, we turn our thoughts to those who have passed. We record with sorrow the passing of Albert Simon DeVries, the beloved father of John DeVries, the beloved father-in-law of Claire Conlon, the beloved grandfather of Romy and Ella DeVries. We also record with sorrow the passing of Johnny Wong, the beloved husband of Barbara Wong, beloved father of Kent Wong, and beloved father-in-law of Nanette Wong. And we record with sorrow the passing of Fred Weinbrandt, the beloved husband of Petra Weinbrandt. And we also record with sorrow the passing of Joyce Levitt, the beloved friend and grandmother of Zevi Horowitz. May their memories be a blessing. And we also remember all those that have died at this time in years past. We remember Primo Albini, Robert Baer, Pauline Baker, Karen Battershell, William Becker, Ethel Perlis Berliner, William Berman, Jacob Bloomberg, Dale Carter, Leroy Cohen, Tom Cottingham, Robert Davis, Morris Edel, William Eisenberg, Ann Emick, Edith Ezrahi, Judy Feldman, Albert Fox, Wolf Greenberg, David Guyol Meinroth, Rhoda Herzog, Adrian Jacobson, Susan J., Rose Kosh, Esther Krodinger, Harvey Lamming, Robert Ballen-Laws, Lizzie Leatherwood, Arthur Leatherwood Sr., Samuel Levinson, David Levy, Hinda Malachi, Kenneth Mapson, Ernest Marks, Nellie Marks, Joseph Miguel, Abe Nathanson, Louis Newman, Jack Orkin, Michael Pasavoy, Herschel Rabinovitz, Fanny Rabofsky, Shirley Rosen, Robert Rosenberg, Minnie Zalaski, Francis Clark Samaville, Harry Samaville, Charles Schoen, Christopher Silva, Henry Stambulka, June Tanner, Pearl Tonelli, and Erwin Weintraub. And if there are those whose names are not here, that you are here to say Kaddish for tonight, please say their names aloud as my eyes meet yours. Thank you. So we turn to page 593 and read at the bottom of the page. The light of life is a finite flame, like the Shabbat candles. Life is kindled, it burns, it glows. It is radiant with warmth and beauty. But soon it fades, its substance is consumed, and it is no more. In light we see, in light we are seen. The flames dance, and our life burns down in gutters. There is an end to the flames. We see no more and are no more. Yet we do not despair, for we are more than a memory, slowly fading into the darkness. With our lives, we give life. Something of us can never die. We move into the eternal cycle of darkness and death, of light and life. And as we hold in our hearts all those names that we said, we turn to page 598 for the Kaddish. And I'll ask those first who are here to say Kaddish tonight to please rise. And as a community, we say, Hamakom yinechem edchem b'tok sha'ar avalei Zion v'Yerushalayim. May God comfort you among the mourners of Zion and Jerusalem. And if it is your tradition, please rise in support of all of those who are already standing, and for all those that have no one to say Kaddish for them. And together. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, ve'amad divrahu te v'yamlik malchute, v'hayel hom v'yomehon, v'hayed dekol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam umei amaya. Yitbarak v'yishtabak v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalau shmei dekudisha brihu. Le'ela minko birhata v'shirhata, tushbachata v'nechemata, damarion de'ama v'imru, amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah min shamaya, v'hayim aleinu ve'al Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol yoshvei tevel ve'imru, amen. You may be seated. So we look forward to seeing you back here, this team, at the end of July. We're kind of hitting the first service that Rabbi Alfie is gone and the last service right before she comes back. And we look forward to seeing you at the end of July. And the week before that, we have a Kavanah Shabbat. So if you enjoyed our service tonight, we would love you to come and experience one of our Kavanah Shabbat services. One big difference, I don't do a drash. We do a meditation. So please come. We complete our service tonight with Oseh Shalom by the wonderful, incredible Nava Tehillah, and it's on your song sheet, and then we'll do Kiddush Motzi, so please join in.
Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Dean was so sweet, he brought 4 Kiddush cups up here. I think I'm supposed to hold this.
You are, Rabbi.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kadsho b'yahava uvratzon v'nchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh bereshit, ki hu yom tehillah lenivrae kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu b'chai
that out there. Do you want to grab that? Okay. So this is, since COVID, we used to all join up here together, if you're new, and maybe someday we will again. But this is like a brick.
Exactly.
But out there, you get real hollow. So if you all want to touch each other, whoever you're sitting with.
Join.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you outside for the oneg. Please enjoy the wine and the challah and the goodies, and we'll be there.